Joshi Shiraki with Equity Real Estate and Utah Home Sweet Home. In today's video, we're going to discuss when it's good to reject an offer versus counter an offer. Okay, so there's two trains of thought. Let's just assume you're a seller and you get an offer from a buyer, and let's just say for the sake of this example, you're asking $350,000 for your home. And this particular buyer offers you $300,000. Well, there are some people out there that say, just go ahead and reject it. Don't waste your time, reject the offer. And there's other people out there that say, you know what, counter the offer. Because at least if you counter the offer, the negotiations are still alive. If you reject the offer, then negotiations are officially dead. However, if you counter the offer, at least they're still alive. Now, you're going to counter back a little bit lower maybe, they're going to counter up a little higher, and you're going to do that until both of you have reached your max. So your buyer will have reached the max offer, and you'll have reached the max that you can go down as your sale price, right? And maybe at that point the negotiations do die. However, you never know how far negotiations can come. So let me give you an example. Let's just say that you've got a house again for $350,000, and somebody offers you $300,000. So you could get an idea of how bad this person wants to buy your house. Let's just say that you counter them, you come down $5,000, assuming you have the ability to come $5,000 down to $345,000. So from $350,000 to $345,000. Well, they're at $300,000. So now you've countered back, and the play is on them to decide how high they want to come up. And maybe they come up 5, maybe they come up 10, whatever it is, you can start to gauge how much they really want your home by how much they counter up and up on each price. And basically, you're just going to do that. There's no limit to how many times you can counter, right? Some people say, well, you counter once or twice, and if you don't, at that point, if it's not looking good, just go ahead and cancel the contract, reject the offer. No, I say you counter as many times as necessary until, as I discussed a second ago, both people meet their max. This is a practice I personally practice in my own investment. So again, as I share this information, this is what I personally do for me. It's not only what I do for me, it's obviously what I recommend my clients to do, but recommending my clients to do it is one thing if I don't do it. But this is something I personally do. So that's one way to do it. You can come down a little bit, they come up a little bit, and you go until the deal officially dies or until you're locked under contract. The second train of thought is, let's just say that you're adamant about getting $350,000. That's the price you want. You put it on the market at that price, and you want that price. Don't be afraid to counter back at that exact same price. I do it all the time. So let me give you an example. I'm asking $350,000 for the home. Somebody submits me $300,000. They submit an offer, and it says $300,000. So I put together an addendum, a counter offer, an addendum, where I counter back saying purchase price will be $350,000. And I send that back over to them, and now they know I'm adamant about that price. So they submitted $300,000. I was asking $350,000. I countered back at $350,000. Now the play's back on them. This will give me an idea of how much they really want the home. If they really want to buy this house, because they just saw that I'm not willing to budge on my price. So if he comes up $305,000, well, it's probably a good indication that he really doesn't want the home that bad. But if he goes from $300,000 to, let's say, $325,000, and he just came up $25,000, now we're playing ball. Now I know he kind of likes the house quite a bit. He came up $25,000. At that point, I might drop down from $350,000 to $345,000. Now we're negotiating. Now we're playing ball. I can see this as a motivated buyer. He's very interested in my house, and he's come up quite a bit, and so now I can start negotiating. So that's just a negotiation tactic to kind of understand what the buyer, how interested the buyer is in your particular home. So don't be afraid to counter back the full asking price. So basically, as a recap, the point of this video is, when do you reject versus when do you counter? Well, in my personal opinion, it just depends on who you ask. But again, I do this for my own investments. My personal opinion is I never reject an offer, and I always advise that to my clients as well. Let's at least counter back, whether we want to counter back high at the exact asking price or we want to maybe drop the price a little bit. That's up to each individual, but let's at least counter back to see what they do and then we'll know if we're, even close to maybe possibly getting a deal done. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions in regards to what I shared with you or real estate in general, hey, please ask them in the comment section below. I'll be sure to get to those questions. Also, feel free to call me. If that's just easier, pick up the phone, give me a ring, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching. Again, it's Yoshi Shiraki with Equity Real Estate and Utah Home Sweet Home.